First of all, I like always to start my morning with gratitude. So thank you, Efra. Thank you, Yaron, for this amazing opportunity, and all HQ for pulling it off. And for today, my sidekick, Anna, my helper, and my team member and my buddy. So I hope we're going to have amazing time in the next 20 minutes or so. And Anna will be in charge of chat, because I really want to see you on my screen, but I will also try to monitor it. So first things first, before I introduce myself and before I say who I am, I wanted to explain about Mr. Murphy, okay? And Mr. Murphy is that guy that sometimes when you stand up trips your wire of the computer and you're out of internet. So if it happens that I disappear from the room, do not leave. I'll come back as soon as possible. We have some backup. Let me remind you about the safety net that we have in this room. So feel free. Look, I even have tissues for myself because there's nobody else to hand it in to me. And to start with something that is very private to me, and I don't think that I ever said it out loud. Today is exactly 33 years that my father has passed away. He died from cancer when I was 6.5. So if you're any good at math, you can now figure out my age. So before we start this story, and before I take you to the story of self-healing, I would like you to help me pick the candle to light it up so we can all feel like we're at the same energy in one room. So red or white, you can share in a chat, and we'll light one candle before we start, if that's okay with you. Red one, red. Okay, we have some more red votes.
Red, white, red, red, white, white, red, white, red, white, red.
Oh my God, I should have done the poll because I don't know who can count this fast.
Red,
okay,
white.
well, another thing that you white for the morning. That's a good argument. Another thing that I want to share about me, I'm very sensitive to smells. So a nice aromas really intrigue me, and I am gonna choose the red then, if you allow me, because lots of you voted the red because it has this strawberry smell that I like very much. So we are starting this session by lighting the candle to the good health of everyone. Now I will start sharing my presentation so I can easier introduce myself. So wings of change, okay, and something is stuck definitely. All right. A few days to collect our feathers for the wings. And okay, something. Yeah, technology. And Mark was telling us to collect feathers for our wings, and this is the one that caught my eye. So further on, I will ask you to choose the wings for me from the ones that we have in our Zoom session. So far, I want you to see the environment around me. This is my studio. I'm dialing in from sunny Cyprus, a beautiful island, Mediterranean. And it's very close to the Middle East, and it's also a European Union country. So when we need to vote on a poll, like, am I from Europe or from Middle East, it's always a buggle for me. Now, another confession before we start is that I'm not a morning person at all. So when I saw the program and I said 7:45 in the morning, I said, oh my God, somebody at HQ must love me very much. But this morning I woke up on time. I even participated in May's session as much as I could, and I loved it. And thank you, Coach May, for that. And then guess what? I didn't make myself a coffee. I went and I took a kiwi. So I ate fruit, and I was very proud of myself about being healthy, because we're talking about healing today, and we're talking about body, mind, and spirit. And then I started yawning and yawning and yawning, and I couldn't stop. So here's another confession. I took an energy drink at the end, but that's life. So for the ones who don't know me, my name is Branka van der Linden. I'm the country leader of Points of View Cyprus. And I like to start my conversations with, I'm a nobody, but nobody has a voice too. And before we start a story and a journey of my healing, my self-healing, and before I take you to that journey, I would like to learn a little bit more about you. and to see first where you're dialing in from which country you are. So we saw Mexico, we saw Canada, we saw Hong Kong. If you can share in the chat a few more countries, and Anna can read it out for us.
Yeah. Costa Rica, Jakarta, Indonesia, Israel, Colombia, Turkey, Philippines,
Wow.
Spain, Japan, California, Shanghai, Hong Kong, Brazil, Turkey, Japan, Korea, Israel, Germany,
Wow.
Poland,
Okay.
Peru. Wow.
Yeah, very, very exciting. I don't know if I ever had such a vast international audience, and thank you all for being here this morning, this evening, good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Somebody maybe didn't sleep from yesterday at all. And I was very anxious about this day, and I was thinking like what to wear and how to do my hair and how to look perfect, because I am a bit of a perfectionist. I have been actually for years. And when you try to be a perfectionist, you tend also to procrastinate and leave everything to the last minute because nothing is really good enough. And I want to ask you, have you ever delayed something because you're a little bit of a perfectionist too? If I can see some hands on the screen, if I can see, yes, there are some. Yeah, the ones who don't want to admit to themselves, that's also okay.
Yes, we have many yes in chat also.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So being a perfectionist is really a stress in someone's life. And when you discover and you go to the journey of self-healing, you need to understand that either it's perfect or it's done. It cannot be both. And this is why I came today in a simple t-shirt with no jewelry, no makeup. Well, I'm lying. I have a little bit like concealer under my eyes because I didn't sleep for the last 48 hours. But other than that, I came bare to you. And I'll stop sharing my screen so I can see you all, because I want to feel that we're in the same room. And why did I get so comfortable in a very, very soft trouser as well? You'll be able to see me, is because we're going to do a little differently our pose today. It ain't pose, it ain't points of view if you don't have a pose. But first time when I went to my L3, I had a very, very excellent facilitator whose English was just not as aligned as mine. And I heard that we need to do a pause. That is how points of view starts. And since I didn't know anything about points of view, I thought, okay, pause. So let me do something like this. And then she said, and we're going to be pausing for 11 minutes. And I'm like, oh my God, I can't stand like that for whole 11 minutes. So the pause with P-O-S-E and pause that we do at points of view were a little bit mixed up in my head. And that's why I'm going to go back to sharing my screen and find the pause that we're going to do today. Just a very, very short pause. And that's to strike a pose. So I invite you all to just stand up from your chairs. Don't stand on the chair. I don't have public indemnity insurance. So just stand.
Branka, we don't see your presentation screen. So in case it's something important, make sure that we can see it.
Thank you. Okay, let's try to do that again. Technology. So it was just the invitation basically to start a pause instead of a pose. How about now? Can you see it now?
No.
Still not.
No. So maybe take us through without the slide.
Okay, all right. Black. So yeah, I just see that it says Branka is sharing, but it's not sharing. All right, yeah, that's how it works. So yeah, everybody just strike a short pause of any kind you would like. You can even move like a butterfly. Did you find your wings already? Yeah, or a ballerina. My little son dances ballet. I'm very proud of it. I'm a mother of two. Yeah, okay, so I see people moving and that makes me very happy. So thank you all for this short pause. And let's see, how many people do we have in the room that are on expert level? You can also just share in the chat. How many experts do we have in the room? Who is the practitioner? I just want to get to know you a little bit. Yeah, I see some thumbs up. Level 3 experts. Do we have any masters here? I see one right in the middle of my screen on the center. Not certified. Yeah, that's okay too. We all take our own pace, our own time. Okay.
Yeah, we have some in chat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 L3, 3 experts, practitioner, L3, L3, L2, master program, L2, L2, practitioner.
All right. Okay. Well, welcome all. I jumped to the role of being a country leader before even finishing all my certifications, but I started my points of view journey with the idea to get to a master, and with God's grace, I hope that one day that will be possible. So, have you ever think about trying to care of yourself, but ending up of not really doing anything about it? I have for a very long time, about 12 years, give or take, since I had children. And yeah, this is a very emotional time for me as well. So at a certain point, I started questioning everything. I was on a journey to the TPP, and I was questioning my marriage, I was questioning my relationship, I was questioning my being, my purpose, my everything. And no matter how many times I tried to write down what's bothering me, something was just missing. And I come from this corporate background, and yeah, I'm afraid to share my screen again, but I will try. I want to show you a picture. Let's see if you can see that. No, still just Branka has started sharing the screen and no screen sharing. All right, okay, so should have sent my pictures to Anna as well. Okay, so imagine this corporate lady standing with a blonde hair. I was blonde, by the way, and in a suit and very corporate stuff, rigid business career. And it was good, but something was missing. And then I remembered yesterday this beautiful story of what we wanted to be when we were little. It came out, I wanted to be a policewoman. I wanted to be a detective. And I ended up in compliance, which is kind of catching a bad guys. And yet I wasn't happy from within. So what I did, I decided to go on my own journey. And how it happened, I wanted to do more of teaching and mentoring, some mentoring startups and young entrepreneurs, which started going into a different level, and still yet it wasn't it. So one day I was in Belgrade in Serbia, in my home country, although I live in Cyprus for the last 20 years. And I was at this train the trainer program for corporate for business school. And I didn't know really what I was doing. So I was lost, I was confused. And then I received my calling. So how it all started. I would like you to close your eyes now. I invite you to close your eyes so I can take you through the story and you can be with me in that room and feel a little bit of the atmosphere. In the meanwhile, I don't know how many of you know who is Vuk Karadžić. I don't know if you have ever heard of the name, and I think one or two people that should know it, they're not in the room because it's too early for them and they're still sleeping. Anyhow, Vuk Karadžić is the reformer of Serbian language, and he's the one who made our alphabet the way it is today. And from 170s to 180s, he left his legacy, and there is this building called Vuk's Foundation. So let me guide you through the Vuk's Foundation now. And Vuk in English means wolf. So he was a child that needed that strong name because he was weak in his health. And this is also related to the self-healing that we're going to go through today. So if you close your eyes and you just think that it all started in one sunny day in Belgrade, in Serbia, in my home country. This historical building, cultural heritage, a two-story house in academic art style of the day, built in 1870. And if you think of it, it had this folk ornament motif, and everything seemed that it was made for giants. The hall, the stairs, the railings, so massive, only to lead to this bright, modernly equipped, minimalistic classroom. I still remember like it was today. They asked us to step out of this modern classroom and to come to the traditional hall with this massive wooden table and to choose a card with which we should represent who we are in one sentence to the classmates and to the team. And oh boy, I had a story developed in my head already. And then what happened, just before I was about to reach for the card, somebody took it right in front of my nose. And I was stuck. And I was thinking what to do now. I have to revise my story. I need to quickly pick another card, what else I should do. And I picked the card that I liked the least. And now if I tell you that at that time I didn't like the yellow color, and of course we're talking about coaching game, maybe you can guess even what card that was. If somebody has this intuition, they can share in a chat. And I did give a key point word before.
Calling.
And it was this card. Yes. One of the reasons I'm not wearing my wings yet is so you can actually see my cards on my screen. So yeah, this was this yellow card. And how I introduced myself, it goes something like this. My name is Branka van der Linden. I don't know exactly why am I here or what am I doing, but I felt the calling. So now when I went back to Cyprus, I went and did the research on points of view, and it was a love at first read, and the rest is history. So how did I end up at level 3? This is what led me to it. And I went to find myself, to the journey, and TPP or TCP, how you know it from before, was really my turning point, or not as a turning point, rather than a revelation and acknowledgement of what I already subconsciously knew for a very long time, for some quiet time, and just didn't want to say it out loud. And there comes a certain time when we start resonating in the higher frequency, and when we start the self-healing process. And now if you would like just to share in the chat, what does healing mean for you? Just in a short word or short sentence. What does the healing mean for you?
Be me, reborn, forgiveness, renewal, pause, refresh, balance of body, mind, and emotions, balanced, compassion,
yes,
forgiveness, being able to leave something behind without regret, become forgiving, back to peace, empathy, look for the wound, then solve it, cleansing, purifying, and flying higher, self-care, compassion, heal toward the seal, the calling.
Yes, I think that we all in this room feel that thing. And I've been catching myself many times burning the candle at both ends, both in my personal and my professional world. And for me, healing is about the nurturing the ability, to come out of the difficult situation and to bounce back by adapting to change. And with this COVID era, we all really needed to change. How many of you didn't even know what Zoom is before the COVID started? How many of you didn't know to use these reactions that you now willingly and selflessly give to all the speakers? So I'm forever grateful that I was reminded that this body is the vessel for our soul, and that I also need to take care of it to the best of my ability. And for me, the statement that I coined at L3 was, I was a healer. And how did we get to it? Well, I am somebody who believes that healer is not somebody who places hands on your shoulders and you're miraculously cured from whatever burden was upon you. It's somebody who just needs to show you the way and be the support and be the teacher until you find the way and the strength to heal yourself. And let's be honest, it's a work in progress, even for me, and it's everlasting conscious effort, and it's necessary, and being true to oneself. So I've been true to myself, I've been true to you. I am not a morning person, and I'll probably just pass out and lie down on the carpet until the next session. So I have like 10-15 minutes. And I would like to share one video that really, really resonates with me of what healing means for me and how we can all heal the world. And please, fingers crossed that that video does work. So, okay. Can you see my screen now? Still not.
No.
Darn. It says that I'm sharing it, but it's not sharing. So I'll try one more time.
Branka, maybe you can play it. Start playing on your computer and then put share.
I did, but I think that. Okay, one more try. If not, we're not going to do the video, but there's plenty of other things that we can do. But the problem is if it doesn't share, then no, it doesn't. Then I won't be able to show you the cards as well. So you'll have to draw on your piece of paper your own question, your own card. No, it's not from YouTube. Thank you, Salmon, for that. Thank you for the offer. But speaking, we have Salmon in the house. And look what I have with me. This is the wings from yesterday from Salmon's workshop. And it was about finding like experiences. So I did write it here, and I do want to share because I didn't know how to introduce myself, basically. So I wrote 15 years of consulting experience, 13 years of compliance experience, anti-money laundering, 10 years of teaching experience, 35 years of helping others experience, and then 40 years of loving experience. And okay, yes, I'm also reminded. You see, I told you I'm not a morning person. This was the workshop from Ichi-san. Yeah, you do forgive me. There was so many workshops and so many lovely point stories and so many pauses and cafes that I got lost in translation. I'm glad and grateful that I did wake up this morning. So, okay, let me, since the video is not sharing and it's not working, I might as well put my wings on. And if that works, you should now see me with the wings. So shall I keep those? A green. Okay, let me put it in the middle. Or the points of view wings. Butterfly. Another butterfly. I'm not going to go to the bats and the devils. That's for the nighttime. And eagle, I think it's too early for me to be eagle. So I'll stick with the green ones. Is that okay with you? So points about healing is that we all carry that power within us. And I'm not a fond person of writing speeches and rehearsing speeches because I need to be in touch with who I am. And I am impromptu girl. I like to speak from the heart. I like to improvise. I like to think out of the blue. And this is why I started my own healing when I looked at the skeletons in my closet and I looked and confronted my own demons. And I can tell you that when we find our best versions of ourselves, we thrive and we can heal the world one person at a time. So Points of View has been my extended family, and ever since, with no expectations and without judgment, I felt accepted and I felt loved and I felt like I can contribute to this community. And I love you all, Global Tribe. So to resonate with the question of today, you will now draw one nice little square box because I cannot share my presentation. And we're going to work on one question. It's just one question. Remember, the candle is on. We're here all in the same environment, in the same room. And now in this square that you have drawn, you need to pull one of your favorite cards without looking. So face down, it can be punctum, it can be faces, it can be coaching game, it can be flow limited edition. And as Gia kindly reminded me, also refresh. If you have your refresh cards, that's all right too. And I want you to close your eyes and pick a card by resonating with a question. When I'm holistically healthy, body, mind, and spirit, how can I help heal others? So once more, when I'm holistically healthy, body, mind, and spirit, how can I help heal others? Just one card that you picked randomly. What does it say to you? Was it a surprise? Was it a revelation? Is it blurry? Is it a journey that you still need to go on? It is all right to be doubtful. It is all right to be seeking, even playing seek and hide, as long as you make that decision that self-care and self-love is really important. And they say that only the healed persons can help the others. And I don't really believe in that, because I believe that no matter on what stage of your journey you are, there is still somebody out there that needs your help and your capabilities and possibilities that you give them. Exactly. So during the COVID era, yes, I was under the lockdown. I had 2 kids which were homeschooling, and it was like my hair like this all the time. This is why I'm not blonde anymore, and I went back to my natural color. And I published a book. And it was about business and about tips of people leaving their jobs and starting to be entrepreneurs. But other than that, it was talking about success. And my definition of success was that success is when you really have no regrets about any of your decisions that you did in your life. And when I started the L3 in Portugal last year, I had a lot of regrets. I have a half brother, which I was estranged from. And one year we got reacquainted, and he wanted to see my children. And since my mom was not the person who was forgiving, my mom was not the person who would want me to be in contact with him, I didn't take the children to see him. And when he asked, where are they? I said, well, it's cold and it was winter day in Serbia. And I said, like, I left them at home. And he said, no, that's not true. You didn't bring them because you didn't want to have an argument with your mom. And of course, I negated at that time, but it was very, very true what he said. And a few days later, I received the news that he passed away. He has literally died from broken heart. And that regret and many regrets has haunted me for a whole year, until I realized that we make our own destiny and life is what we make of it. And this is why in my book, I wrote what success is. And I also wrote a mantra for myself. I am happy and successful today. Now, with this in mind, let's come back to the question and think of how does it resonate with you? When you are happy and successful today, when you're holistically healthy with body, mind, and spirit, how can you help heal others? Did you have any question in mind? Did something come to you?
Branka,
somebody can share? Yes.
I'm sorry, the time is really, really over. So I think that everyone will digest the question and will continue the process by their own.
Excellent. Okay, thank you very much, Michal. Let me just finish by, when you work on that question, it also works vice versa. That means to ask yourself, when you do heal the others, how does it affect your self-healing? And I'll leave you with that. Thank you very much. Thank you for being here.
Thank you very much, Branka, for sharing your story, and also leave us some homework to think and to digest. Everyone, the next session will start in 13 minutes from now. So you are all welcome to join us to the next session. It will be inside our force for self-resilience with Milda. So you are welcome to
I
join
think
us.
we'll all have homework for like weeks to come after all these sessions.
Yes. Okay. Thank you, everyone.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you. See you.
Bye.
Bye.